They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma, the ones actually enforcing the Vision Hunt Decree. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy samurai.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this!
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
What? We just happened to be... We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But why would she ever want us to help maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall, and it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency...
He seems to be telling the truth, but we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have. We should be able to follow their tracks. They couldn't have gone too far.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods, we really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides that one house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder that will go down in horde.
You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson!
Time to act.
Freeze!
Rain outlines your fate.
Windblade!
No, my sword! Time to act. Witness the power of Gugwa.
Try! I got careless.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you. Kurosawa. Oh, I remember. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with...
food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with value. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom. What do you...
You've got a deal! Now show us what's in the box!
Huh?
What the...
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah, a lot of them, and they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We're talking ton. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of this. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross again.
Yes, of course.
So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke...
Shut it. Let's just get out.
Body and mind.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire? Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debt.
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increased...
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa was purchased and no one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained and held him accountable.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thank. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself. If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That reminds me, it seems that most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so—
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable blade. He's carried it for years. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has— Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for. Oh, but before you go, if you would—
But we didn't—
Information is also a kind of commodity, wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh, let me think. 2,000 mora should be a fair price.
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a priceless sword in his possession. Let's go talk to Kurosawa again and see if he can remember it.
Time to act. Body and mind.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did—
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I just— Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders? Everything I said was true, right?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all—
Strange. Is that really the kind of— I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed before he passed away, and said to me,
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved. Can you recognize the words?
virtue, and somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need, and look how things ended. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul. The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these. Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though,
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide what Sensei's name is Domon. A name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard. But then...
not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. So we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether...
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just... The exorcism will take place this evening.
You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this evening and...
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei in one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whisper. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's, his senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago, and he has been a wanderer ever since. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism the ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei... Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? Uh-oh. Could they be here to mess up the exit? We won't let them get away with it. Come on, let's go.
Body and mind.
Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up?
Time to act. Body and mind.
Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
How did you catch... Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even... Unless... I guess it's been a few years.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the question. And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like...
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am
His senior? Wait, that means...
Anzai. Yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Make-Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation.
so the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception. But Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to be. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering. I thought so too at the time. But Domon began making swift progress in his training, and even started catching up. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo Shisui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations for me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is...
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us.
Time to act.
What? Does that mean he's just...
Nanako, please.
I am sorry, but spirits mate and all is certainly not...
Lady Yai?
The head shrine maiden of... Correct. Lady Yai, I am unable to say for certain.
Excuse me, Miss...
That won't be necessary. All that is I must leave now.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself...
Do you mean to say that Sensei...
No, that's not what I meant at all. I just mean this is Lady Yai. Anyway, given that you've traveled all this way just to meet...
Sure! After, who knows? Maybe we'll be... Yae? Oh, no wonder Junya is so excited. She has a really striking Also, is it just...
Keep away. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yae, Domon has persisted.
Lady Yae, this is nothing like...
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your son... But
Then did...
yes, unable to cope with the tremendous as one who is thrown in... As for what has triggered this change...
Stripped of his ambition?
Your school practices, stillness of mind, freedom... There was once... Then... What of the...
Lady Yae, I'm not sure...
The path of the... It requires one to take their sword. Only a deep commitment to... When that ambition disappeared...
Poor Sensei.
I'm sorry, Father.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that on? Did he follow us the whole way?
Ansai, you're here for revenge.
You're right to assume. It's been so long, I don't think most of the... Now I know that but that is no reason.
But what if one day I put everything I have... If there's a chance that...
Have you asked them what they...
Sensei, I can't know whether I want to keep going and...
Nanako's far from the only one.
Goodness.
You see? Being stripped of your ambition is so... Just as... You are not in the same...
I'm sorry to have made you... I no longer have the... But as your sensei, this is my promise.
You can count on that, but I am... Well...
So even though his ambition was taken away...
Traveler?
So, the wind that blows for us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child.
Ooh, Lady Yae, she seems super...
Body and mind. Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka! Huh? Traveler, Paimon. It is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, it seems like they're... Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out...
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen.
Thank you both kind. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen? Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of the thunder's roar, lightning's flash, the wind's assault, and the rain's descent. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the common people. But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your stance? You will? Really? Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you she wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my... Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komori tea house? We ought not to involve other...
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it! Gotta keep a bit of...
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you... The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. But as I recall, there was something else about her that struck me even... It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, after all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, it is not unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against...
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sango no Miya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sango no Miya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement, beyond merely fighting. Of course! We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenshukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryou Commission and the Kanjo Commission, and subsequently scrapped. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt decree.
Ooh, Paimon has a question!
Oh? What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunt decree?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a...
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them as a contingency measure.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake vision?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryou Commission.
Darn! So they found out about it?
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply abandon Master Masakatsu. Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission, breaking him out of prison would risk dragging down the reputation of the entire Kamisato clan should we be caught. That would only serve to cast suspicion on any future activity we might... By no means do we intend to place the burden of such a task on you. When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run by the Nagonohara family. There, you will find someone who can help you.
The books were more interesting.
Time to act. Body and mind. Body and mind. Time to act. Body and mind. Body and mind.
Just hand it over. You don't want any trouble with me. If you think your elemental powers are enough to resist the Vision Hunt decree, then you'd better think again. Believe me, you're not the first of your kind we've encountered, and we've seen the same unpleasant outcome time after time.
Can't you make an exception? I just got this vision. I won't even use it, I promise.
So this is the Vision Hunt decree in action, huh? We can't just sit around and watch things unfold. Psst! Hey, wait! Huh? There's someone trying to get our... Come on! This way! What's going on? Can't you see we need to go help? Shh! Quiet! Just sit tight and Hey! This isn't right, you know! Just because you don't have a vision doesn't mean you can sit back and watch others in trouble! Huh? Hey, wait! You do have a vision! Shh! If you don't keep your voice down, I won't have one much longer.
All right.
Wise choice. All right.
What should we do now? He's already given up his vision. Doesn't he know what could happen to him after... this is your fault. You're the one who stopped us from interfering.
Many thanks, Miss Yoimiya. If you hadn't swapped me a fake just now, I'm sure I would have lost it.
No worries. You put on quite the convincing performance.
Oh, so that's what's going on here. And to think Paimon was about to unleash Paimonial wrath on Miss Yoimiya.
Think nothing of it. I could tell from your reaction we were on the same side. You just didn't know it, you know? Oh, right. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Yoimiya, the current owner of Naganohara Fireworks. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Great to meet ya.
Practically everyone on Hanamizaka knows Yoimiya. She's the queen of the summer festival. Without her and her fireworks, summer on Narukami Island just wouldn't be the same.
Whoa, that's quite the introduction. Paimon loves fire.
Stop it, Hanjiro. You'll embarrass me. As for thanking me, you'd be better off thanking Master Masakatsu. He's the one that gave me the fake visions in the first place. His handiwork allowed me to keep my own vision. Whew, I can't even imagine trying to run the business without it.
Yes, Master Masakatsu is a good man. It's too bad good people seldom get the recognition they deserve.
Master Matsuka.
Huh? Do you guys know him too? You don't say. Then it sounds like the Shirasagi Himegimi has a plan. Awesome! I've been thinking about breaking him out too recently. But if I just marched straight in there by myself, I'd probably get Miss Kami-sama. So, what about if I join you instead?
Sure, welcome to the
So,
Whoa,
not bad, huh?
time to break